It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI.
I'm going to give you the exact formula you need to build a 6-figure business. I promise you, if you follow these steps, you'll just do it, because we have the data on 65,000 creator entrepreneurs. All of us, everyone can actually do that. We have someone who's literally bakes sourdough bread and has made $600,000, or someone who teaches you how to crochet and just crossed $200,000 with a small amount of followers. The hardest thing for an early entrepreneur to do is maniacally focus on one thing. If you're first starting out, find your ikigai, the thing that you want to pursue for the rest of your life, which is the Venn diagram between what you're passionate about and what you're an expert in. Just do that one thing exceptionally well, exceptionally niche down, and slowly, methodically expand over time. If you do that, you will be much more successful in a year than if you try to do everything all at once.
I like things that are made simple. We often, as entrepreneurs, overcomplicate everything. And when it comes to generating revenue online and making any sort of money, we often feel like there are a ton of steps and it's just kind of impossible for us. But that is not true. And this will be proven today thanks to our special guest, John, who is the founder of Stan, an amazing company that I use. We use it at SPI. We'll tell you a bit about what it does and do a little bit of audio demonstration for you as well, just to kind of walk you through what it's like. I do recommend checking out the YouTube video that is available on the Pat Flynn YouTube channel. However, you can also find it on the show notes page, smartpassiveincome.com/session862. So you'll see a little live demo of Stan and how we use it, but don't do that right now. What I want you to do is listen to this episode, because we start out by talking about the easy way, the step-by-step way to generate revenue in today's online creator economy. So here he is, John Hu, that's H-U, founder of Stan. Let's do this. John, welcome to SPI. Thanks so much for being here, finally.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
A lot of people have heard about you and your tool, Stan, lately. I've been talking up Stan quite a bit. I use it myself now. We wanted to use this opportunity to connect with you, the founder, and also just for those watching on YouTube, show us how the rundown is on how simple this is, because truly what I'm here to do and what everybody knows is that we try to simplify things. And if that means new, better, more efficient, optimized tools, then all the better, because there's a lot of tools out there for sure, and Stan is one of the best that I've found recently. So I just want to pass that forward to you and your team for all the great work that you guys have been doing.
Well, thank you very much for that. I think about when I first started my own creator journey and my own online entrepreneurship journey, like trying to deal with all of the clutter of like having a link in bio and a course website and a clunky checkout. It's just like, it was too much. And so we've worked really hard the last 4 years to build Stan and make it basically the simplest and easiest way to start an online business. And we're really, really proud of what we've come up with today and just how successful people are on it. So I'm sure we'll cover that over this podcast.
How would you describe what Stan does or is? Because there are course creation tools out there. There's community tools. There's Shopify. There's all kinds of tools that we kind of know what they do. But Stan is, in a way, an all-in-one, but also just so simple, which is sometimes an oxymoron. But yeah, what is Stan? What does it do?
Well, you're hitting the tension that we have to balance, right? Stan is the only tool you need to start your online business. It's also by far and large the simplest and easiest way to start an online business. Like I'm willing to bet you money that you won't find something simpler and easier that also has everything as comprehensively as we do and as affordably as we do, but specifically to help people think through like how they might be able to use Stan themselves. So Stan is your link in bio, your website, your storefront. So your online presence all in one place, plus the courses, digital products, community, webinars, calendar bookings, like consulting services, literally everything you could ever offer, Stan already hosts for you. And it's just really, really easy to set that up.
It's really impressive, the user interface and the way that you've simplified a lot of this stuff that often is just so noisy and messy and like a spider web of things all into one tool. And probably the most surprising thing about all this, just so we can get, I know sounds like an ad for Stan, but honestly, I'm here to promote amazing products that help people. The best thing about this, amongst all of the things that it does, is what is the price point for it?
It's $29 a month. I think it's the immigrant kid in me who grew up like going to Costco with my mom, single mom, and we would just like hunt for deals. For me, I'm really, really proud of the price point. It's $29 a month for everything you need.
$29 a month, no like additional fees.
Yeah, no transaction fees, 0% fees.
That's insane. Like, how are you able to survive when every other company has to feel like they do that?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's like the sheer scale of the opportunity, right? I think you were one of the first people a decade ago to recognize the opportunity you have to build smart passive income online and really start to build a business for yourself online. And what we've realized is like literally all of us, everyone can actually do that. Whether it's, people coaching on specifically how do you build a business online, right? But all the way to, we see thousands of long tail niches. So like we have someone who's literally bakes sourdough bread and has made $600,000. Whether you're a personal trainer, you're a fitness coach, whether there's someone who teaches you how to crochet and just crossed $200,000 with, a small amount of followers. We don't really have to think about price point because we know the market is so large of people that we can enable because everyone has a skill and a passion that they can monetize if they choose to.
Can you speak to those who are worried about niching down so narrow? Like that often feels like you're leaving money on the table or just like
No.
Like, tell me more.
False belief is actually, we find at least when you first start, it's the opposite. You want to be as hyper niche as possible. Because if you ask yourself, well, there's so many people, let's say in health and wellness and fitness, how am I ever going to break out? It's by being incredibly unique and specific to you, right? I think about the quote all the time, escape competition through authenticity. Like the more you're telling your personal story that you're specifically a single mom who struggled with weight loss and like has a 9-to-5 and specifically found like a way to have a 10-minute routine in between picking up your kids from school, like that specificity of niching down, the way the algorithms work nowadays, they'll connect you with thousands of people who have that same similar story that resonates. And that's how you fit above the noise. And so niching down, I think at least early on is really, really great way to cut through the noise as you expand and broaden over time.
In addition to niching down, realizing that you don't need 1 million customers to create something amazing for you, right? And that's what I love about Stan, especially when we're teaching how to get started. Oftentimes, it's much easier to start with something like coaching or consulting versus like, okay, let's spend months creating a course or building a community, which is also great. But the fact that you can have somebody pay you today to borrow 30 minutes, an hour of your time and get paid for that is incredible. And again, just kind of removing the friction there between that, Stan does that. But tell us what the beginning journeys are like for a lot of your customers who are doing this for the first time. They're getting on board with the tool. Again, we'll go into the tool in just a second. What are some of the other mindset limiting beliefs that they have that stop them from making their first dollar?
Such a great question, Pat. What I would tell you guys right now is it's actually really easy, the process. I'm going to give you the exact formula you need to build a 6-figure business. I'm literally going to walk people through it. I promise you, if you follow these steps, you'll just do it. The hard part is getting out of your own way. It's the emotional mindset questions, especially the insecurities that come up in this journey. I think that's why this entrepreneurial journey is so powerful, is because it really forces you to face your demons and your insecurities and how you question yourself. And I think that's such a beautiful part of this journey is like, once you get to the other side and you make that first dollar, it completely changes the way you think about the world and gives you this deep amount of self-agency. Like, I can get through hard things and achieve anything. And I think that's like a really beautiful human experience. But to back up and just give you guys this is literally the formula, because we have the data on 65,000 creator entrepreneurs. If you follow these steps, we promise you guys, if you just do it, you just work out every single day, like, right? It's the same thing. And so the formula is basically, if you're first starting out, find your ikigai, right? Which is the Japanese term for basically what is the thing that you want to pursue for the rest of your life, for lack of a better term, which is the Venn diagram between what you're passionate about and what you're an expert in. And so if you find that little place in the middle of that Venn diagram, that is likely what you can make content about and give value to the world around. And so all you have to do is just follow that authentic desire and passion of what you want to talk about online and what you could do completely for free if you wanted to, and create content and build it on, so let's say in this case. And then from there, what you'll find in terms of actually starting on Stan, you have to figure out what is your product or service you can provide the world. And the easiest way to figure that out is your audience or the people around you that you talk about this stuff will actually tell you. You don't have to there's no science behind this. It's just like, oftentimes, let's say if you already have an audience, you're always going to get tons of comments and DMs specifically asking you certain questions about, let's say, whatever you're talking about. And so that's already a signal of what your customers want from you. And so the first thing to do then is, okay, how do I provide some sort of product or service? And essentially within that, all one has to do is, like you mentioned, before you even sell a digital product or some sort of scalable thing, you want to actually just start with a coaching product, right? You can just on stand put up a 30-minute calendar block. So you can put up your calendar with a payment platform. And then from there, they'll book 30 minutes, they'll pay you $50, what have you. And what you'll do is you'll just book, 5 to 10 of those folks. And in that, you'll see the patterns of like, what are people actually paying you for? And let's say we are in the fitness category. We'll be like, oh, shoot. So like 8 out of the 10 people who booked me all specifically had a question around my bicep routine because my biceps are huge or what have you. And so in that gives you a signal, like, how can you build a scalable business over time? It's like, oh, I should do a course or I should do a guide or something that's digital that can scale beyond me. So the passive income piece of things, specifically on bicep curls or like proper bicep curl form. But that's really the process. Then from there, all you have to do is just iterate. As in, whether it's with your content or your product, basically on the content side, my promise to anyone is if you just show up every day for 100 days, probably 98 of those will flop. And that's okay. That's part of the process. You'll hear crickets or like things will underperform. You'll feel really bad about it. But 2 of those posts, at least are going to do really, really well. And if you just follow those 2 and you double down on whatever pattern that was, like what was the inside of that, and you just double down on that and you keep iterating on that, I promise you, if you can get over your mindset concerns about, oh my God, what are my high school friends going to think of me, or this acquaintance, or like, what if I fail? Like, if you can get through all that stuff and just persist and iterate on that content stuff, you'll build an audience that wants to buy from you. And then if you just keep testing how exactly that audience resonates with your products and services, you'll start to see the patterns of like, oh, if I say this thing, or if I use specifically Instagram stories and have this kind of framework, then they'll actually purchase from me in this, and I can actually help them through that whatever journey I'm giving them. But that's actually the formula. It's really simple and basic and kind of boring if I give you the actual answer. It's about whether or not you're actually going to show up every single day and do that.
Yeah. The showing up every day does a number of things. Number one, like you said, it gives you just more opportunities to get out there. It's almost like throwing bait in the water for fish. Like if you just take one cast, you're like, oh, I failed and leave. Like nobody does that when they're fishing. You take multiple casts. You cast it differently the next time. You try this bush over here. You try this rock over there. And eventually, the more casts you make, the better chance you have of catching something, like you said. But more than that, you get better every time. The reiteration allows you to improve on that process. If it takes you an hour to create a 60-second video up front, I promise you after 100 days, it's going to take you 10 minutes because you'll understand kind of how this goes and you're more comfortable. You're out of your shell now, and it just becomes a process where you can then start to insert little experiments here and there. Maybe this would work. Cool. Let me try that. Okay, cool. It didn't work. That's okay because we have tomorrow to give it another shot. And I think this is such a relief for us who are often feeling so like every piece of content has to be perfect and has to be it feels so heavy, right? Like I'm coming out with a book right now and it just feels very heavy because it's like a one-time, like I'm not writing a book every day. This took 3 years. So it feels different, but the opportunity is actually better, especially for those just starting out with the social platforms that we have and showing up. Tell me a little bit about which or where should we publish? Because there are millions, or not millions, but there's dozens of social platforms. Do we publish to all of them? Do we choose one? What is your stance on that in terms of building an audience to then engage with, understand what they need help with, and build these solutions for?
You should start with the platform that resonates with you the most. We all have our artistic medium, right? Whether it's literal canvas or it's text and writing and LinkedIn and Twitter, or it's video and photography, so it's Instagram or TikTok or long form YouTube vlogs. I would urge someone to pick whatever they feel most passionate and called towards organically in their gut, and maniacally when they're first starting to start in that. Because people often get caught up once they start getting successful and like, oh, I need to add Instagram, I need to be multi-platform, and I need to do TikTok and then YouTube and then newsletter and email. It's like, yeah, you can do all those things. They're all net good things. It's a question of whether or not you have the amount of time and energy to do those things. And especially starting off, the hardest thing for an early entrepreneur to do is maniacally focus on one thing. Just do that one thing exceptionally well, exceptionally niche down, and slowly, methodically expand over time. And I promise you, if you do that, you will be much more successful in a year than if you try to do everything all at once.
Yeah, agreed. With running your own business, legal questions always come with the territory. Like, can I use this contract or agreement? What do I do if a client doesn't pay? Am I even structured the right way for taxes? Instead of Googling your way through legal landmines, imagine having a law firm ready to address your business's legal needs without the sticker shock. That's what you get with Legal Shield's small business plans. Legal Shield helps entrepreneurs access real legal help on contract reviews, collection letters, business formation guidance, and even help navigating IRS audits. Members can schedule consultations, upload documents through the app, and get support from a provider law firm that knows small business laws in your state. Plus, consultations on taxes or trademarks help you stay ahead of potential problems. And if a client is late on a payment, Legal Shield steps in with professional collection letters so you can protect your hard-earned revenue, all for a fraction of the price of hiring a lawyer on your own. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI. While DIY website tools are everywhere, most fall short on design and performance. Hit publish. Framer ships your site worldwide in seconds. No code, no compromises. Framer is a powerful, user-friendly platform that delivers developer-level results without writing a single line of code. Make your designs move and convert with Framer. Framer brings your site to life with powerful animations, dynamic content handling, and a design-first approach that helps your site stand out. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. Browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something of your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, scroll and looping animations, and much more in seconds. And it's free to start. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting of generating starter layouts and can even translate your entire site to any language. On the back end, you'll get responsive breakpoints, built-in hosting, a flexible CMS, and privacy-friendly analytics. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at Framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of pro on the house. That's Framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. Now, before we move into the sort of quick little demo that we're going to share, and I'll post this on my YouTube channel at Pat Flynn on YouTube. For those of you who happen to be listening to this, John's going to be explaining as we go. I'll also call out some stuff that we might need to clarify, but I would recommend you check out the YouTube video. If you want the links to the YouTube video and all the other resources, plus our affiliate link to Stan, smartpassiveincome.com/Stan, go ahead and go to smartpassiveincome.com/862. This is episode 862. You can go there to find the video that we'll embed and the links and all that stuff. So great. Let's actually see or kind of explain how simple it is to set this up. And then once it's set up, I'd love to make sure we dive into, okay, now that this is here, how do we get people to it?
Let's do it. And for those just listening, I'm going to do my best to be as descriptive visually as possible in my talking. So I'm going to share my screen here. So this here is Stan. What you're seeing on the right side is just a demo store I have set up. And then on the middle here, all you're seeing is a really simple interface of being able to add anything onto your store. So this big purple button that just says add product, let's say you want to start a store for the first time. All you do is you click add product and you see there's all these different options to add a product. So if you want to do a digital product, you want to build your email list, you want to do a coaching call, you want to do a course, you want to do a webinar, you want to add just some sort of link, you want to do a recurring membership, a community, whatever you want to do here, all you have to do is just click that option. So for example, Pat, we can do a digital product here. And going off of the fitness example we have, basically what you'll see here is our test for how we build a product is could our grandma do it? And I guarantee you, I've talked to enough and asked enough grandmas to use Stan that I promise you, if no matter how tech unliterate you are, you can figure out Stan and do it within a couple minutes. And so what you're seeing here on the left side is just the input fields to actually change this little widget on the right. That is your store block. It's just like in the sense of like a link tree back in the day is like a button. You're adding little store purchase bots, little windows of products on your link in bio. And so in this case, I'm just going to update this title field to get my fitness guide. And you'll see it live update on the right. And then here you can change an image. You can do whatever. We have a bunch of stock photos as well you can use. Let's say you upload something there. Now, all you have to do is edit your actual sales page, right? So people are going to click into that button on your link in bio on your link tree here. And then from here, you can just update your web page, right? You don't have to code anything. You don't have to drag anything around. I can just be get my fitness guide. I can change the description if I want to. You can see everything live update. But then here, all I have to do is change the price is I'm going to say $19. I could add discount codes. I could collect additional information. And then from here, all I have to do is just, let's say, upload this guide. I'm going to upload this random Excel file. And so that Excel file is now uploaded. Let's say that's my digital product. And so all I do now is I press publish, and literally on the internet now, this is live. I wish we had just timed that, Pat. That was maybe 2 minutes at most to set up everything up.
Not even.
And so now we're here. You see, this is my Get My Fitness Guide thing. I have my checkout. And all I have to do now is, as a customer, I type in my credit card information. This is really critical too. I'll talk about it in a second. But I press purchase here, and then boom, it's done. In less than 2 minutes, we just became an online entrepreneur. And what's really, really critical at Stand as a product, one other thing for folks to think about is like the old flows of having like a website and a link in bio, and you have to click into 3 pages. We're in a world of such short attention spans. You can't do that anymore. You have to have something like Stan where it's an immediate on-page conversion, just like this. And that's a really critical piece that I built Stan in the beginning days just for my own account back in the day, because that short attention span is so important to be capitalized on in terms of like really getting that one tap checkout. But that's basically Stan right here.
Yeah, I mean, that's so clean, so easy, and you can move things, drag things around. It's like a what you see is what you get sort of editor, but for a store, which is really nice. And I want to plus one what you said about the website thing. I got a little bit of flack on YouTube by creating a video recently that said you don't need a website. But also, especially at the start, building a website used to be the first step for everybody, which was A, technologically heavy, B, then you'd have to worry about all the copy and the pages and the logos plus the plugins, and it would just break, and it was expensive, and it was just so much friction to get started. You just got this up and running in like 2 minutes. And then if people are seeing this, or to describe for those who are watching or listening, it's not super fancy. There's not a lot of movement or colors or anything like that. It's like exactly what you would expect to see because of how people are getting here. They're no longer finding you on search engines and don't know who you are. Most of the people, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, that will end up here are people who in some way, shape, or form have found you already, or other people who are explaining who you are and what you do are linking to this page. Therefore, you don't need to convince them with all the stuff that we used to build a relationship on a website. This is like just continuing the conversation you're already having on social, which is why it's so simple looking, correct?
Yes, your content, guys, is your new website. It is your new portfolio and brochure. And so what we need to be doing now is we need to be maximizing the conversion probability. And so that's what Stan does exceptionally well. And then you have all the analytics within Stan, like your store visits, your conversion rates, like what platforms your customers are coming from. Everything you need is all in this one place, hyper focused on how do I maximize my dollars per visit.
Okay, so there's nothing else to see here. That's it.
Yeah, demos on Stan are kind of like, they're like too short because it's too easy. I'm like, wait, that was it?
That's it. Thank you, John, for that. And, there are a lot of tutorials, and we have some as well inside of SPI. We've done a workshop inside of SPI together as well, which was a little bit more in depth. However, when you're just starting out, keep it simple. If this were easy, what would it look like? It would look like this. But we set this up. How do we get people to click on it from our socials? Like, what are the best practices and strategies people are using who have maybe not a super large audience to get people to click over and actually then see the store and all the things to convert them into an email or a coaching call or a product?
Yeah. So I will tell you guys one of the number one correlative facts with how much money you make using Stan or any platform. One of the number one correlations is how often you market your products. If y'all are going to use Stan, please, please, please promise me you'll do well and make money. Like, I don't want you to use Stan and subscribe to Stan unless you're actually successful. And the number one way for y'all to be successful here is to focus on actually talking about your products. The first mindset block that happens for people is like they pour their love and time and energy into a digital product or whatever they want to do on their Stan store, and they put it into their link in bio wherever they are on whatever social platform. So we can use Instagram as an example. So we put Stan.store in our link in bio. So our link in bio is optimized for conversion. But what they fail to do then is they fail to realize that their audience has no idea that they're offering this product now. I think one of the struggles for first-time entrepreneurs is like the mindset gap between you recognizing all the value that you can add versus the reality of everyone else is not in your head and doesn't recognize that. And so the number one thing that people need to do broadly as a mindset shift is like, I need to market this product in the same way that Nike or Walmart or whatever brand that you like is constantly spending dollars, constantly, aka spending time and energy marketing to you to actually remind you, hey, we have this thing, and when you're ready to buy it, you should buy it from us.
But John, I'm not Walmart or Nike. I can't afford a billboard. I don't have a marketing budget. How do I do the same thing?
And that's exactly why we have organic content. That's exactly why the creator economy exists in the first place, is because now people like you and me actually can outcompete and outmarket Nike or Walmart for free. It's just about showing up every day, using your phone or your video camera, whatever you want to do. And so within that, basically now we have to talk tactically. Okay, so I know that I need to mindset market. How do I literally do that? And there's a bunch of different formats, but the best way to think about this, y'all, is like we're the modern day QVC. You can kind of imagine yourself as like a QVC host to some degree. And there's different varying forms of this. And one of the questions that I always think about, and we get a lot too, is how do you sell without being salesy, right? I think a lot about that because we always know when we're being sold to, right? When we're scrolling our social feeds, you can just kind of know when you scroll. And so the mindset that I always have, and this is fundamental to just Stan in general and how we build a company, but it's all about give, give, give. And so I keep using this fitness example as the through line. But let's say, for example, if you think about two different posts that you could make in your organic in-feed social, once again, we're on Instagram. I could start out, my first line could be, get my fitness guide. You're going to lose weight, $19, blah, 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 blah. Or I could be like, these are my top 3 tips for losing weight. Number 1, count your macros, eat healthy. Number 2, do this. Number 3, have an active, consistent workout routine. That last one, by the way, is the hardest thing, but I actually put together a $19 guide that actually helps walk you through how you can stay consistent, which is one of the number one problems I see. It's in my Stan store. And so you can even think through like the mindset shift of like, how do I give as much value as possible in the second one? And therefore, how much more likely you are to stay on that content in a way that feels pretty authentic of like actually selling that. And so if you take that mindset shift and then you focus on all the different ways you already look to express yourself in your content. So whatever is your style of content, go for it. But one thing I can tactically say is like an Instagram story, for example, we see is one of the highest converting methods. So let's say you're doing in-feed content and you're talking about whatever you talk about, you're building your audience. And sometimes I would say like for every 3 to 4 posts, I would recommend at least mentioning your product in 1 or 2 of them. Captions are a really great way in every post to actually get to mention it, even if you're not talking about it. Basically, it's just like, you have to think about the old adage, which is it takes 7 marketing impressions to get anyone to buy. So you're trying to insert as many of those impressions as possible about what value or what product you provide. And then you can use different mediums like stories that are really, really good for in the moment conversion. So that's how I would think about driving traffic to my Stan store is like, you have to make sure you're talking about your content in some way, whether you're going live, whether you're mentioning it in a specific ad role within your YouTube video, whether it's in your email list, like basically think about how can I maximize the number of impressions for my product that I can get out there.
The marketing thing is so hard for people. I think a lot of us are in creation mode and feel like just the creation of our content is the marketing, but you have to consciously, like you said, let people know that these things that you're creating exist. And it's not just us creators who are doing this. I know a lot of companies that I advise who come out with this awesome stuff, but they never talk about it. And then it's just kind of hidden in their platform. And then people kind of randomly discover it versus, hey, let's tell people about this because it is something that's helpful. I think it's just a human nature thing. We're so disgusted by often how we're sold to that we just don't want to become that. What else is working out there on certain platforms? Can you give us any specifics on like what's working on TikTok right now for people to get? TikTok is where Stan kind of like first kind of housed up, right?
Because that's where I started. It was the ultimate democratizing platform back in the day. Like I had no audience, no following, what have you. And I just posted a couple of cringy videos and it kind of worked out. The best way to think about stuff is a funnel. Like, sorry, when I say stuff, the different platforms is a funnel. So the ideal world, if you had all unlimited, infinite time and energy, I would use TikTok for top of funnel brand awareness. I would have them then convert to Instagram. On top of that, I'm doing long form in some way. So YouTube, newsletter, whatever floats your boat, whatever is your long form vibe. And I'd be trying to use social and short form to channel as many folks as possible into long form. Because that's where you really build a relationship with someone. And I think the best way to think about that is you can watch one 30-minute YouTube video, and that's the equivalent of someone watching literally 30 of your short form videos, which they're probably not going to do. Like odds of anyone doing that, even if you make content every day, is pretty low. And so you're increasing your probability of developing a relationship with someone and therefore them being a potential customer of yours. But in terms of each specific platform, what works, TikTok is on a relative basis, the lowest, I would say like dollars per follower on average, like the lowest ability to convert because when people are like, if you think about the mindset on that platform, like they're just here to scroll and like watch funny memes, right? What we see is lives are the best medium to actually convert. So TikTok live is actually really, really powerful. I mentioned QVC before, like y'all, we're the new QVC, whether you like it or not. If you want to play that game, like it's a really, really successful game. So I'd highly recommend that. Then on Instagram, stories I mentioned before are incredible because unlike in-feed posts where you can kind of exhaust your audience in some way because it feels heavier to do an in-feed post, the story is so casual, people swipe right through it and they'll convert right there. YouTube is fantastic just in general. If you spend, let's say, a minute or so or 45 seconds or just within the context of your actual video, talking about whatever you're offering and being really authentic in it, you'll just get conversions because YouTube is such a strong platform and you link your Stan story in your description. And the same thing for any sort of email list or newsletter, what have you, any other form of conversion as well. You just have to embed your Stan store into whatever you're doing and you'll get conversions.
When you say embed your Stan store, it's kind of just link in bio kind of thing.
Yeah. You just copy paste your Stan store link.
Yeah, you'll see it on the Pat Flynn Instagram and elsewhere on X. It's all Stan Store. And we see the new data coming in every day, new subscribers coming into our email list because we use it for top of funnel lead gen, but we're also using it to sell into some of our other programs. And we even have links to things that we know work as an affiliate as well. So you can kind of customize a lot of this stuff too, which is really cool. So $29 per month, no additional fees. This sounds kind of almost too good to be true. But I'm happy it's here. And for anybody who wants to check it out, smartpassiveincome.com/Stan is the affiliate link. We do get a little kickback for that. Lets us know that you heard about it here on the show. And John, this has been incredible. I don't think we need to talk anymore because we got kind of everything that we need for a person to get started, including the tool. And I'm just really grateful for your time and what you and your team have done to make things a lot easier, not just for us at SPI, but for our listeners as well.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words, Pat. It was a blast to be on. And also, if anyone needs help in their journey, you obviously got one of the best mentors out there with Pat, but also the team here at Stan. We're not just like software developers, we're real people. And we really, really care about your journey. So feel free to reach out to us at any time. You can reach out to me on Instagram anytime at JHoob. You mentioned you watch Pat's pod. I'm happy to help and give advice too. So hope to talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you.
See ya.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that episode with John. I just, again, love how he simplifies everything and his tool does the same thing. So if you want to check out the tool, there is an exclusive 30-day free trial available only through this link I'm about to share with you. And that is smartpassiveincome.com/Stan. STAN. Smartpassiveincome.com/Stan. If you'd like to see the demo and the YouTube video, we'll link to it in the show notes as well as the other resources and such over at smartpassiveincome.com/session862. And go get them. Go make some money. It's not as complicated as you're likely making it out to be. Simple, not necessarily easy, but it is simple. So start there, take the action, go through the lean learning process, learn as you go, and get started with Stan at smartpassiveincome.com/Stan. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode. Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? Record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips. Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio quality audio and high resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART. I get it. You want to grow your business, but selling at scale feels overwhelming. You're drowning in complicated funnels, creating different lead magnets, or constantly posting on social media. And that gets exhausting fast, especially when you're trying to sell to hundreds or thousands of people. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? A score app quiz or assessment asks your audience key questions and gives them instant personalized results based on their answers. Your audience gets to know where they are now and shows them the steps they need to hit their goals. You can set up a quiz in minutes using Score App's templates and have a powerful lead magnet that'll do the selling for you. The best part is your audience actually wants to take this quiz, and you build huge amounts of trust before you even make a single offer. No hard sales, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. Just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI.